and welcome to episode MAGFest special of Lesbian Talk. And if the audio's a bit fucked up, it's because we have a laptop. I don't know. I'm tired. Talk!
We're in a hotel room using the inboard mic on my laptop because we are in a room filled with other honorary lesbians. Yay, lesbians.
Yay!
Honorary.
They're about as hairy as the average lesbian.
Pretty much, yeah. So, honorary lesbians...
Well, I'm slightly less.
Yeah. Well, no, you do have the mightiest beard of the three of you.
This is true.
You got the shortest hair, too.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, if you look at all the hair of everyone who's in this room, yours is the most lesbian.
No, Steve's is.
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, with the
Got it going on.
front.
Hey, ladies.
But we should introduce our three special guests, and they are in order of awesomeness. I'm not telling you who's most awesome. You got to decide for yourselves.
Wait, most to least or least to most?
Good point.
Now you have to decide that for yourself.
We need some guy.
Okay. On the count of three, we all say our names at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Kyle Kallgren.
Okay, so if you slow down the track and play it backwards, we have Kallgren, Oancitzen with us. We have some jerk with a camera, Tony Goldmark, and we have the magicist of magic, Steve.
Yay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
These guys have very particular powers. Tony has the magical power of heart. Steve has the power of balloon animals. And Kyle has the power of having a beard.
Snails?
We all have beards.
But his is a power.
By your beards combined, I am Captain Fink.
No, I meant the girl I'm dating. Never mind.
Oh. By your beards combined, I am Steve Wozniak.
So it's the end of MAGFest, which is why we are all incoherent.
Yes.
Or slightly less coherent than we normally would be.
What is sleep? What is sleep? I forgot.
Yes.
Sleep is a concept by which we measure all penguins.
I'm good with
Well,
that.
Cranberry.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm good with that.
This is going to basically be a sequel to the interview we did with Tom from MAGFest. We did that as a for everyone, we did that as a precursor to MAGFest to basically say this is what's going to happen. So this is like the reality. That's this is going to happen. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be butterflies and amazingness, and it'll be wonderful. And then this is afterwards. So it's like, that was the having sex with someone who's really attractive, and this is waking up and discovering who it is.
And we promise there won't be any diversions into the origin of the KKK this time.
Yes, that happened last time.
Aww.
I think that's my area of expertise.
So?
I have nothing to add.
No.
Okay.
I love the crusty comedy classic.
Right?
I remember that. So how's everyone's MAGFest experience been?
Really, really busy. It's my third MAGFest, fourth. I can't remember. I think third.
Yeah, I think we went to this. I think we started at the same time.
Yeah, back when I was at the other place, the other smaller place with the elevator parties.
Oh no, then this would be your fourth because this is my third, and it's only been at the Gaylord.
Oh yeah. I'm an old
that's
salt
true because
then.
that first year I was actually gonna drive down with a friend of mine to MAGFest because he knows Nash. Then we ended up not. And I think that was when I think where Spoonie was there and Doug was there. And then the next year was when you and I went.
Yeah, so you have to tell us about MAGFest of eons past.
MAGFest of eons past. That was before I was on any kind of like site with an audience. Back when I was still in the Tigwatig forums, I only kind of knew everyone through Skype and that sort of thing. And so there's this huge moment that strange disconnect you have when you see someone in real life that you've only seen previously on a camera or on the internet or something like that.
Oh my god, you exist!
You're real. You can't see it, but we're feeling each other up right now.
It's so sexy, you guys.
Oh
You
god.
complete
Right
me.
there. Right there. Yes.
Yeah, that's even weird. It's still weird now. I mean, like,
Yeah.
this trip, I met Steve for the first time. I met Tony for the first time. I met Brad for the first time. I'm sure there's a couple other ones.
This is my first time meeting any Tigwatig members. Although I've talked to all of you, well, except Magic Steve.
I've talked to you before.
Oh, you have? I have? Okay.
Thanks for remembering, Tony.
I'm
God.
sorry.
Oh.
Oh, well. I have a horrible memory for people, and because I'm a horrible person. So, but yeah, it's ever since I first got into this community like 3 years ago. I guess I'm kind of used to that. I'm kind of used to just knowing people through the internet, and then suddenly, oh, you really do exist, because it's happened a lot. So, I'm more incisive about the human condition when I've had more sleep. So
I'd like to think the same myself.
This is I mean, for me, it's basically the same as what Tony said. It's been fun meeting a lot of people in real life, like in the flesh. I've known Zaria and Amanda for a while. I've worked with them. I've used them for projects.
He uses us.
I use you. It's true, for my own personal gain. But I've never met them in person, so that was really nice. Met a few Tig with Tig members, Kyle included. Kyle's awesome, probably my favorite.
Aw. You lie, but aw.
Aw. Actually, no. Kyle's been one of the nicest people I've met out of the Tig with Tig people. One of, not a bunch of them were nice, but other than that, I've been even non-Tig with Tig members, just meeting people that I know online that I've talked to that I consider friends, and being like, hey, what's your name? Oh, holy shit, you're so-and-so. I didn't know that. That's awesome. It's been a good experience. And then my flight got canceled, so I'm stuck here for another fucking day.
yay,
Hooray.
Yay, snow!
yay, Maryland.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think it's
Crab
so cool.
cakes and gun shootouts. Gun shootouts.
I
Yeah,
like
but
Maryland.
there's also a really good Vietnamese place in Colombia.
Yeah, I quite like. Okay, I'll shut up.
I'm from Maryland. I'm allowed to make fun of it.
Well,
You're also
honey,
from Holland.
you're
yes.
you're from PG County, right?
We have Edgar Allan Poe and The Wire.
Yeah, I mean, the part of Maryland that I lived in, like, I tell people, oh, I lived near Baltimore because I was about 10 minutes away from the ass of West Baltimore, but it was nice. It was suburban. People always, like, well, you dodge gunshots on the way to work. I was like, nah, I take the highway.
But you have picked up a lot of WMDs on the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's drive-through, so. Also, Maryland has better liquor laws than my home state of Pennsylvania, so.
For a reason.
Yeah, probably.
What is that reason?
You need a lot of liquor to live here.
Ah!
Yeah. Now, actually, okay, I grew up in PG County, like in the suburbs of DC. So, and it was a pretty affluent neighborhood when I was growing up. Or at least, it's not now, but it was. And so I guess that's where I got my pretentiousness from. I was always constantly surrounded by, if not my parents' stupidly educated friends, then by PBS. And I grew up on free Smithsonian museums. The museums are free in DC, so my favorite place to go was the Smithsonian. So.
Oh, they're good museums.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't spent as much time in DC itself as I'd like, but I'd probably put it up in my top 3 or 4 American cities.
It's great to be a tourist in DC.
Yeah.
It is a city designed to radiate power and glory and that sort of thing.
It's very. I know why it's like this, but it reminds me of like a lost European capital.
Yeah, it's designed to look like Paris or St. Petersburg.
Yeah. And
Neoclassical buildings.
It does it perfectly.
Yeah.
See, I spent about a year and a half living in the suburbs of D.C., well, in Alexandria, Virginia, and there was so much I just never got around to seeing. Even just, I'll go into the city and look at something. It just never came up.
Yeah, so whenever I come, I'm always like, let's go to D.C., and she's like, okay, we don't have time, we can't go.
No, because I work, so. And always like, well, why don't you just take today off, and why don't I not? Why don't I make money instead?
Okay, that's better. But back to MAGFest. I think we all had some rather special experiences. One of the most special ones I saw was John St. John on stage pretending to be playing a character who was clearly based on Duke Nukem in the Duke Nukem voice. As part of the worst audition for the worst movie ever made.
And that was actually the best panel in the world because then he stopped everything in the middle. There was kind of a lull to announce someone's engagement, which was amazing.
He narrated it in the Duke Nukem voice.
And it was magical.
It really was. So congratulations, Critical Marine, and your fiancé.
Yeah, and but yeah, for the worst movie in the world, it's basically Tom White. He's an evil genius.
Who really is a genius, just say.
He writes extracts from deliberately terrible sci-fi movies, and he's concocted this game where you get random people from the audience up and they have to act it out and voice it, and if you laugh or you corpse or you fuck up your lines, you gotta get kicked off and get replaced. And it's a lot of fun. And Tony here,
Yes,
he won, and he was the guy that defeated, because I was in the same round as him. You were in
Right.
the first version, I was in the second. and you defeated me, and you robbed me of my copy of whatever it was, Space Chimps or whatever.
The DVD I won was Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel.
You're welcome to it. If it was Space Chimps, I would have killed you.
I'll get you a copy of Space Jam.
But it's the Squeakquel. Why would they have made a Squeakquel if they didn't have a reason? Why?
Amy Poehler needed to be a chipmunk. That's all I have to say.
Because there was a great evil.
Right? Okay.
What is this?
But yeah, and that was,
I don't bother myself with such trivial things.
that was a lot of fun, and I'm just glad I didn't get. I'm just glad that my part didn't involve the line "Thank the Amish." I don't think I could have made it through that line without laughing.
There was one of the special runs. This is going to be on several people's YouTube accounts. One of the guys who got called up was in a full-size Yip Yip costume from Sesame Street.
You're like one of the little Martians
yes.
that go yip yip yip.
Yeah.
He did his entire scene in yips and nopes and things like that. And Linkara was offended by this and tried to make him say his lines correctly.
I don't think he's saying the line.
And then Tom, being in charge, decided that it didn't matter.
It was really great. I don't think that's the line. I don't care.
He's like, "Are you cops?"
Nope.
And I think that was literally his 15 minutes of fame in the world. Because I didn't see him in the Yip Yip costume after that. So.
But if you listen to him, because we were right behind the Yip Yip guy, and his
friend was really upset that he got kicked off.
Yeah, his friend was like, "I'm going to totally win this, I'm the best player." I went up, kicked off first. But then the Yip Yip guy went up, and afterwards, the poor guy, he was like talking about how terrified he was. He didn't want to go on. The only reason he started doing the Yip Yip, so he didn't have to do his voice.
Well, that's cool.
Because he had severe stage fright, and he'd been doing Yip Yip like all MAGFest.
He just got around. That's pretty cool.
But to be fair, comedically, that's the only way it could have gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he could not have delivered his lines normally.
"Hello, I am a cop."
And it was really great because nobody wanted to go after that. How could you even?
When all the winners of the various rounds took to the stage, and we were all kind of leading him, waiting him for him to say it. We said, "Say it," and he finally said, "Yep," and we all just went insane.
Actually, if I remember right, the crowd started a Daniel Bryan yes chant.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I grabbed another guy randomly and started shaking him by the shoulders, going, "Yeah! Woo!" It was. I've blown out your audio. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I can adjust it.
Okay.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, it's gonna go in post-production.
Yeah, I sound.
Fuck it, we'll fix it in post.
When I sound edit, and actually I make her sound really succinct.
Because I'm like,
But
Brian.
And then with long pauses, I'm like, no, we'll just cut that down, thank you. So you sound like so with it.
Yeah, I sound like someone who knows what they're saying.
Exactly, like that pause.
So if you listeners want to watch this, I'm sure there were people filming it, and I'm sure it's on.
Tom's filming it, and he puts them up every time.
Okay.
And there's other people. As soon as the Yip Yip ascended the stairs, I saw a bunch of phone cameras going. It's going to be on YouTube. Look up MAGFest Yip Yip or auditions or something. You'll probably find it
with Save Search on. Just
now, to be fair, wasn't he here last year too?
Yeah, but he wasn't called up for that.
Got it.
I can't believe I missed all of this.
I
went to Mag Prom.
Yeah.
This year they made the very bad choice to have the auditions for the worst movie ever at the same time as Mag Prom. So I ended up going with my date to that. And
how was that?
Did you cosplay?
No, I wore my own suit.
But it was James Bond theme. You could have just worn a tux.
Well, I have this. I have this.
I know that James Bond would rock that suit, but I don't think he has it yet.
He could be in disguise as a professional.
He cosplayed as Kallgren.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, how'd that end up being? Because I haven't heard any reports.
He was okay. It was a lot of nerds dancing. And dancing with them. The only thing we stayed for was this bluegrass band, it sounded like. Bluegrass band that covered 80s tunes. I don't know.
Yes, I heard about that. I never got the album, though. I really wanted to get through that.
They're really good.
They're the ones that I want to request, because Nash said he's going to do an 80s night.
Yeah, Tom told us about them. We also told us about the Viking band, and during our little pre-MAGFest thing, and I forgot the name of the bluegrass band, so I didn't get one of their CDs. Kicking myself.
It's probably alright.
Speaking of bluegrass covers, Hard and Firm once did a medley of Radiohead songs.
Radiohead. I love that one.
That's awesome, yeah.
That sounds spectacular.
Yes.
We ride tonight!
Oh. But I gotta say,
Cut kids in half. Cut kids in half.
Okay, when it comes to ridiculous covers, I might have to try to top that, but it probably will not work. RuPaul's Christmas album
Oh boy.
features things like RuPaul the Red-Nosed Drag Queen.
Oh.
you heard it
Why-
here
Of course
live.
it does.
Why is her nose red?
I don't know. It's a drag queen and everyone else, other drag queens, won't let her take part in
Drag queen games.
Yeah, and they're all like, oh no, but then like RuPaul, no, the nose gets used by Santa, and it's been a long time since I listened to it, but it exists, and it's about as ridiculous as the Twisted Sister Christmas album, which features them covering "Come on, All Ye Faithful" to the tune "If We're Not Going to Take It."
Oh god.
Right.
Come on, all you faithful. Oh, come on, you faithful.
Basically,
I never knew the birth of Christ could be so satanic.
Really great, just like a nativity and
Have
like
you ever seen the
little
shirt?
baby
Jesus
throws
is
out
fucking
balls.
metal.
Yeah. Have you heard the like death metal cover of Carol of the Bells?
no.
It works surprisingly well because it's just this pounding.
Oh, is that the one they're playing in the
No,
nights here?
that was Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard that of all places at Disneyland at Christmas one year. They played because it's just an instrumental. There's no offensive lyrics because it's instrumental,
Well,
but
the
it's
band,
Blood
Trans-Siberian
gorgeous,
Orchestra.
blood gorgeous, blood gorgeous.
Teddy from my show is a big fan of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and they're like a side project with this guy from the band Sabotage. But nothing they do is like, we wouldn't call it's not death metal. It's not ground. It's all power metal. So it's like the vocals are more sort of Iron Maiden or Judas Priestish, but they did that was for a concept album they did just about Christmas. So they did a bunch of Christmas songs, usually with lyrics or altered and stuff, but it's weird. But they also did a concept album about Beethoven, where they did a bunch of Beethoven songs, music with lyrics added. But the ones where they didn't have the lyrics were much better.
Mhm.
But yeah, those exist, and they're actually interesting, if not brilliant.
So anyway, MAGFest.
MAGFest.
I've got to say the cutest fan thing that I saw was this morning at the That Guy with the Glasses meet and greet. There was a kid, he looked like he was maybe like 10 or 11, he was there with his mom. And she was sitting a few seats away from me. So he comes up and she's like, well, who else do you want to see? And he's like, well, I want to see that guy with the glasses. And I've heard this, and I said, oh, well, Doug Walker didn't come this year. He came a few years ago, but it's been a few years since he's come. She's like, oh, well, and she says to the kid, why do they call it That Guy with the Glasses panel? I was like, no, that's the website. These are producers on the site, and they do things and stuff. And I'm explaining like the entirety of how Channel Awesome works. And she's like, oh, so he's not here. And I was like, no, he's not. She goes, is there anyone else you want to see? He goes, no. And they went away. I was like,
Oh.
aww. But he was cute. Like, he's like, Mom, I'm gonna go see That Guy with the Glasses.
Well, you could have seen Linkara. I'm sure,
Well,
Linkara.
he had the option to do so. He came back from the area where you guys all were, so.
Oh.
Doug Walker, you broke a little boy's heart.
Yeah.
I saw one cuter
Again.
I saw someone cuter than that. I saw a 4-year-old cosplaying as Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. He
Man.
was following his dad. He had like a little bow and arrow and like a hood and everything. It was like,
And when we saw him, he was going up an escalator, and we all looked at each other and thought, we have a leap of faith coming any minute.
He's gonna go to the toppest part of the hotel and synchronize.
that's how they find out where the local, restaurants are. 'Cause he
Wish
doesn't have a
we'd
map
done
yet.
that. And thank God, Ketchup is closed, so there. Haha.
Everybody I know was disappointed that
I-
Ketchup was closed
You had a bad
because.
experience with
Well,
it.
no, because I do a running gag in my show where every time I do a weird trippy dream sequence, it's always has very much to do with ketchup and bottles of ketchup just randomly showing up and people saying, ketchup, ketchup, ketchup. For some reason, ketchup dominates all my trippy fantasy sequences on some jerk, so...
You could have got a really nice cutaway there, but
Well, someone took a picture of the place at a couple years ago, and I used that still in a ketchup montage once, so...
The Ketchup
but
montage.
as a restaurant, and okay, I went there last year and the year before. Now, going last year, it was not 100% by choice, and they didn't have any heating, which is not great in January. But Ketchup, in many ways, was like if a low quality movie that Lupa reviewed became a restaurant, that would be Ketchup.
That's surprisingly apt, I have to
Well
say.
played.
They have ketchup.
Yes.
They have 6 types
And they
of
once gave me a
ketchup.
bill for $200.
Wow.
for
What?
one meal.
What?
Okay, what
What
happened?
did you eat?
What happened was,
Did you
A
eat
whole-
the furniture again?
a little bit.
Okay.
What happened was a whole group of us, bunch of Ticket 2 people, I think Phalos was there, Luca was there. We all went. We asked for separate checks. We did get separate checks, but only for the people who actually turned in their credit cards, because it was like partly paid on credit card and partly paid with cash. For some reason, the people who paid with cash, they got put onto my credit card,
Oh.
What?
ranking up my like $15 lunch to $200
Like,
to pay
wow,
for a
that's
bunch of
some
people.
tip.
Yeah.
It sounds like an
I-
accident.
I got it fixed. I was not charged $200, but
Yeah.
you'd think they wouldn't do that in the first place.
It's ketchup.
Ketchup.
The
Ketchup.
people, the people who
We were
worked
just
there,
talking about ketchup.
Ketchup.
the people who worked there all seemed to be pretty nice and everything, and it seemed like the whole restaurant was a comedy of errors.
Yeah, we tried 3 different places. We wanted to go to the Mexican place, but there was someone in our party that really didn't like foreign food. So we're like, all right, well, we'll just go to Ketchup because none of us.
Ironically, she was a foreigner.
What'd you say? Because none of us had eaten all day, and so I was like, all right, fine, we'll just go to Ketchup. They were like, oh hi, just let you know we have no heating. Like, we don't care, we're hungry, it's fine, whatever. Our waiter was super nice, but he had to come back a second time and ask us what our drinks were again because he didn't write it down. And I got fish tacos, and there was like unassociated sauces on the bottom of my plate that had nothing to do with my meal. And like the fish was kind of like lukewarm and kind of raw-ish, and the coleslaw was weird, so I ate the tortillas. And we all had to pay the gratuity anyway because we were in a large group. So yeah.
So
But gourmet ketchup.
Well,
they
yes.
had 6 types of ketchup.
6 types.
6. Apparently,
6.
that's not
Right.
impressive.
I should have just taken a hip flask and like shot all the ketchup into there and get my money's worth.
See, I have not heard anyone mention ketchup my entire. This is my first MAGFest. No one's
Mine
mentioned
too,
ketchup,
mine too.
but everyone's mentioned this chicken place. Gosh, I keep blanking on the
Nando's.
name. Nando's, thank you.
It's I believe it's either African or Portuguese, but they're
Portuguese.
all over Europe. So I've been to them loads of times, and everyone else likes it, and it's fair enough. I just don't like peri peri.
So it's really great because for the past 3 years, people will be like, hey, let's all go out to lunch. And everyone's like, all right, we're going to go, let's all go to Nando's. And everyone's like, yay. And Hawkins like, woo.
And I just sit there with fries. But they do have a space soda machine. Explain
Yes.
it.
You doubtlessly have seen this somewhere. It's, I don't know what company made it. I think it must be a Coke machine. But you can take Coke, Sprite Zero, root beer, Fanta, anything you want to do and add whatever kind of flavors you want.
Right.
Like raspberry, vanilla, orange, just anything you want to do.
Yeah, they have one of those at Five Guys Burgers on Wilshire in Los Angeles.
They've got one at the local movie theater where I live.
They've got them at
Nielsen Company.
Wegmans. Yeah.
These things are completely unheard of in the UK, as far as I can tell.
Well, you guys don't really do free refills either, do you?
Not really, no.
Because that's sensible.
Some places have started bringing it in, but it's still not common.
Yeah, but soda's bad enough for you. I don't think we need to treat it like water.
That's fair enough.
Says a room full of people drinking
Yeah.
Diet Coke.
Glug glug.
Glug, glug.
But
Well, I
it's
remember-
diet.
I remember being a little kid and, being at a restaurant and getting a soft drink. And then, the waiter coming around, oh, should I get her another? And my parents like, no, water. Because when I was a kid, free refills weren't automatic,
Oh.
Yeah. Back in the day.
But I do love the crazy soda machine. I adore creating. Last time I was over here, I accidentally created one of the types of Fanta you can get in Europe, but not over here. It's like this sort of fruit punch type thing with various things. I just put random things together. It's like, this is like the red Fanta you don't have.
There's a building in Future World at Epcot Center. It's a smallish building. It's
The Coke station.
yes, the Coke station.
I
where
love that.
Where you can get just sodas from around the world.
Yeah, it's like Coke own this shop, and they sell a bunch of Coke memorabilia, and they give you shot glass sized little containers where you can try. Oh, this is from Germany. This is Israeli.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
free.
Mexican.
It's-
Yeah, it's like but they don't sell bottles of it. I'm guessing
No.
like the FDA will let them give it away for free, but won't let them sell it or something.
Probably, yeah.
But it's gorgeous. I really wish I was smart enough to have a big bottle and just went out. Oh yeah, this one's great. Fill it up. But yeah,
Sure, you can get in trouble for that.
probably.
But so we're coming on up to the half-hour break. And we have some new music from a person that's actually in the room with us this time.
Magic Steve,
Where?
introduce yourself.
Would you stop that?
Magic Steve, tell us what we're going to listen to.
We're gonna listen to whatever the fuck they want to listen to.
Well, your balloon animals just put out an album.
Oh, they do. My balloon animals, they put out an album.
Nothing's better for the audio format than balloon animals.
Squeaky, Squeakerson, and the Squeakers.
The Squeakle.
The Squeakle.
Yes. My album, which is coming out later this year, is called Goldmark After Dark, and I've been working on this for a long time. It's just I've been putting off releasing it because I wanted to get to a certain point in Some Jerk with a Camera, which I wanted to wait until season 2 of Some Jerk was done, basically. And it still technically isn't. I still have one more episode to go, but once that episode is finished, I will release the album. So, I don't know which tracks from it you're gonna like most, so
We don't know what one we're going to play yet.
okay, so here's a track from Goldmark. Wasn't that awesome? That was a track from Goldmark After Dark, the brand new album from Tony Goldmark, aka Some Jerk with a Camera, aka me.
You know what I loved best about that track was around the 2-minute mark. That thing that happened with the audio and the thing. That was great. In fact, can we hear that again?
Yeah, that was actually a mistake. That
Really?
was actually a mistake in the studio, but we loved it so much we're like, let's keep it.
Well, you know, let's hear it again.
I really love the subtle Steve Reich reference.
Yeah,
I love what you do with clapping.
And clopping.
I've heard about that. We're not going to talk about that.
They said, why hire 9 glockenspiels when 8 will get the job done just fine? And I was like, if you want to personally deliver every CD to every house explaining that you ruined it by suggesting that we only have 8 glockenspiels, please be my guest.
And that mini cover version of the 1812 Overture in MIDI was brilliant.
1 second long. We sped it up to only 1
Yeah.
second long, but it's very clearly the 1812 Overture backwards.
Where
That's
did
what-
you learn tube and throat singing? I was blown away by that.
Last Thursday, in fact. Yeah.
It's that easy to learn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you give us a sample right now?
Sure. That may have been a too high register for the mic to hear, but everyone else in this room is blown away by it.
You know
Whoa.
what I
I'm
was most
bleeding
impressed
from
with
my
was
ears.
I hit
the
the wall.
gargling solo. I mean, I've
That
heard
gargling
people gargle.
solo, man, that took forever. I had to we recorded that at a tenth of the speed. I had to gargle really slowly. I don't know, I think it was completely arbitrary now that I think about it. I don't know why we did that, but we did it.
How did you arrange to bring Frank Sinatra back from the dead?
Well,
Yeah, I was really impressed.
You see, the bringing him back wasn't the problem. It was getting him to do this once we brought him back.
Did you record the Black Mass to bring him back?
He's kind of a...
Could that be a bonus track on the album?
If we can get the lawyers to clear it,
Ooh,
yes.
especially
Was the
this
ghost of
release.
Dean Martin involved in any way?
He was upside down, but yes, and you can't. He was in the room upside down, hanging from the ceiling, but he refused to say anything. But we just liked having him there, just it was.
You could feel his presence in the back.
I think you can.
Am I right in
It's black
guessing?
magic.
Am I right in guessing that Dean Martin upside down? That was why Frank Sinatra was doing the singing. He insisted.
He absolutely insisted. Yeah, that was Frank's call.
Well, I heard he was a bit of a douche, so...
Literally, he was a douche. Yes, he came back in douche form, but he still got
It's
it.
very
man.
functional though.
I
Still
did
got
say
it.
something, and I was like, I'm not going there.
Yes, but Frank Sinatra's going there.
Oh.
As a douche.
I had a friend who used to call salt and vinegar potato chips douche chips. And we had this one friend. She was a sweet girl, but she was kind of slow. And so one day she's like, "So Cliff, why do you like douche chips? I don't understand." He's like, "They're salt and vinegar chips." She's like, I don't understand." He goes, "Think about it." She's like, "What? Am I missing something?" And so he had to explain to her what a douche was. It was like literally I've never been in a more awkward situation than that single 5 minutes.
For the one person in the audience who is slow enough to not understand, could you explain it in 5 minutes?
Okay, well, see, basically, sometimes if you're a woman, you may get a not-so-fresh feeling. And the best way to combat this not-so-fresh feeling
It's Frank Sinatra.
is to take anything that is caustic or acidic or something that has a high salt content, high salinity content, that basically makes it very difficult for bacteria or yeast to grow and kind of shoot it up you.
For more information, check your local library.
The more you know.
If you would like to explain douches on the show.
I was kidding.
This episode has been brought to you by Sinatra brand douches. They'll fly you to the moon.
I think we should end the podcast there, Eric. We should end it. We should all just close up shop. Tony has won.
Thank you.
We can't top that.
They'll fly you to the moon.
Sid Rain, our lawyer, has just informed us we need to keep going for the rest of the show. That guy's a douche.
We have a contractual
yeah.
obligation.
Literally, he's the same Afterlife Club as Sinatra. I don't know how that happened.
They killed Sid Rain?
When did Sid die?
Oh, I did.
Oh,
I killed him
Just
on the
now.
Got it. Sid's dead.
So anyway, MAGFest.
Shit, I'm broken. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, we broke Kyle.
Alright,
God damn it. Can we get a new Kyle in here? We broke the
Oh, I'm better.
So
Disdain reactivated.
One thing that I like about MAGFest is we'll just be standing around with some people having like literally the most mundane conversations, and then you'll just notice somebody kind of like sidling on up and excuse me, are you Demons O'Hagan? Oh my gosh, are you Oancitzen? Oh my gosh, and you don't feel like, oh come talk. No, I don't want to interrupt you. I love you.
That's even more amazing when it happens to Tony.
Yeah, a couple people actually did that this con. They approached me, and one guy in particular approached me and said, "Oh, you're some jerk with a camera. I hate it. It's a small world too." Blah blah blah. He started talking to me, and I blinked, and he was gone.
I was
Wow.
Yeah, it's like
I actually meant the joke that they thought you were Oancitzen.
Oh, okay.
Went to Hagen.
oh okay. Okay.
See this? I said
This
I'm
is
a
how-
villain.
I am a
sounds
professional
tired we are.
joke ruiner. That's what I
Well,
do.
you know what's the crazy thing is? I even got and I'm nobody. I've got like 150 Twitter followers total. No one. I've made a few balloons of famous things. I did one of Doug Walker. I did one of James Rolfe that's coming out soon. But no one. But I did 2 large sculptures at MAGFest. I did a balloon TARDIS and a balloon Dalek.
And actually, if you're watching the visual version on Nerdvice, you will be seeing those right now.
Hell yeah. How do you like that? Sexy, right? I know. Anyway, while I was building the TARDIS, I'm wearing my my Magic Steve costume because that's what you do. And I kept hearing multiple times from behind me, "Oh, dude, it's Magic Steve in the flesh. Hey, it's Magic." And I'm thinking, how the fuck do these people know me? I'm fucking nobody. But it felt good. I'm glad I was entertained. And that's a lot of people before I came asked me, "Why are you bringing your balloons? You're not being paid to do shit here." Well, because I love to entertain, and I did balloons for a lot of kids that came up. I did the people who took pictures with the TARDIS and the Dalek, and that really is that for me was the best part of MAGFest, just seeing people enjoying what I was doing.
Yeah, it was always weird. I mean, I think the first MAGFest I went to, I didn't get recognized once, but I did hang out a lot with Alison Pregler, Obscurus Lupa. Like she was a friend of mine before I got on the site, and she was like showing me the ropes. And I've now been on in both major situations. The first situation being you get recognized and have that awkward, moment of, "Hi, I love your stuff. Oh, I'm glad you love my stuff." And being the friend of the person who gets that done to them. And so, which is a different kind of awkward. Like when I was with Allison, I've had people come up to both but say, "Hey, can I get a picture of you?" She would say, "Yeah." I get the camera handed to me. Click. Thank you very much. And then they go off. And I've had it done to me as well, and I've had friends who've felt that same awkwardness with them, and it is a bizarre thing to get used to. It's like playing Pokemon and going through tall grass and just getting a random encounter, and just it's a landmine. MAGFest is a landmine.
I'm pretty used to that because you.
Yeah, but you got recognized as well.
Well, no, but not even about that. I mean, that was cool that happened, but because Hagen doesn't have a U.S. phone, usually if she has to set something up, she'll say, "Oh, just give your phone number to Omega, she'll set it up." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I think it was after the worst movie panel, and some guy was like, "Wait, oh my God, are you her personal assistant?" I was like, "No,
Oh,
I'm her,
wow.
I'm her wife."
So technically, yes.
Yeah, really much.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I really should have played up. I should have been like, well, actually, yes.
Well, I gotta confirm with Miss Hagen whether I am. or
Well, it
not.
was Smarty, so I should have said to Smarty, well, she can't see you right now because she's in a meeting, love, but I guess I can mention you for
You filmed
11:30.
with Brad.
Have some coffee if you like, if you want to wait.
But yeah, I do get upset when people think or act like you're my assistant or something like that because.
It's not everybody's job to know your personal life. I mean, if that's not.
Oh, I know.
I don't care.
But the person who says that most is honestly you, and I get upset about that too.
Well, I say it in a joking, funny kind of. I'm your coordinator. Because that's what I do in real life. I'm an administrative professional.
I'm a bit more used to being recognized just because before I got into the whole reviewiverse thing, I performed a lot at cons as a comedy musician. And my first con doing so, I was 14 years old, and and that was Alcon '98, the very first Weird Al Yankovic fan convention.
Shocked.
Long story short, I released an album when I was only 13. It got some Dr. Demento airplay, and the whole funny music convention. I mean, nowadays there's a ton of conventions that have funny music tracks, like. Particularly MarsCon in Minneapolis at the first weekend of March every year. But Alcon was kind of the first one that did so. So I think the organizer was just kind of desperate for acts that had gotten Dr. Demento airplay. So I was just up there doing 2 songs, not knowing what the hell I was doing. But because it was such a novelty to see such a young kid performing comedy music, I got recognized at that con and every Alcon. I performed at every Alcon after that. There were only 2 more, but
if you come to MAGFest next year, do you think there's a possibility you could be one of the performers? Because they have a lot of metal group, some video game music, but
see, I'm not really a musician. All the music you hear on my songs is played by musicians that my parents know, basically. So
Doctor will be with you in a moment.
Ah, shit, it's Christopher Eccleston.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I got texted. I'm sorry.
But the so if I was to do a gig, it would just be me and a background track, and it would basically be the karaoke version of a concert, and that's fine for like that's more common at comedy musician tracked cons because a lot of because it's the whole comedian just take the stage with a mic and do your thing, But at a music convention, I'm not sure that... It's like Paul F. Tompkins had a bit about how, music at a comedy event is fine. The audience adjusts and they're cool with it. Comedy at a music event, the audience loses their minds and they just can't handle it. It's like yeah.
It's a pity. I'd love to see you, perform.
I'd never say never. I mean, certainly if they asked me, I would. But
I know that MAGFest was a little threadbare on Tigwitig stuff this year. Like, they had the Blistered Subs panel, we had the movie panel, but usually there's more panel. Linkar had a panel. Usually there's a little bit more than that. And the amount of people that came up to me and said, and I, basically upset that I didn't organize the Doctor Who panel this year again. Because I organized that last year, and I heard vague rumblings that maybe next year will be a bit more Tigwitig heavy stuff, so.
I think that they were just disappointed because they had a lynching planned over your new Who stuff.
Possible.
Why do you hate everything new?
I don't.
According to your fans, you do.
No, according to their straw man, I do.
I have sexy dreams about David Tennant, and you don't love him, so I'm sad.
I'm getting a divorce.
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
Okay, I want to ask you one question.
Okay.
How is New Who any more or less silly than Old Who?
It's not the silliness that bothers me. It's the fundamental alteration of the character of the Doctor primarily that bothers me. The other alterations of how they've updated how the show runs and everything, going from multiple part adventures to like the 1-part adventures, that bothers me less. But that's just a narrative thing. The Doctor in the original one was not portrayed as a hyper godlike, really really incredible person who could do anything. The Doctor was just about twice as smart as a smart human, and they were asexual, which I really liked because having a lead character that kids would look up to, and for fans and all, who was not explicitly heterosexual, was a really good thing. And with the new series, him being heterosexual and making out with seemingly heterosexual, making out with people and everything, it makes the character more generic.
Mhm.
And so mix that with the fact that he's now portrayed as, much more capable of shit. Like, okay, 4th Doctor died after falling off a radio telescope. 10th Doctor fell from a rocket several hundred feet off the air, but a mile off the air, fell down through a glass dome, hit concrete marble, sort of stood up, survived. This is what bothers me. There is realistic silliness in a show, and there's fucking ludicrousness. And people that come in with New Who, that's normal for them, and that's fine. I'm not going to begrudge them that. But I'm unabashedly someone who started watching the show with the classic show. My first memories are watching Time in the Rani and being annoyed that the Doctor was not blonde anymore. So I must have seen Colin Baker in Trial of the Time Lord. I just don't remember seeing him. So that is crystallized in my mind. And then I would watch the old Who during the Wilderness years, and it came back, and they altered these parts, which I feel are fundamental.
Okay.
Ooh.
I like the TARDIS. It goes whoosh whoosh.
So if you're also watching the videos on the visual on Nerdvice, then the Doctor Who intro that you see for Lesbian Talk was actually designed for us by Skizip888. So there you go.
What's a doctor?
You know that guy who sticks
He's a
his
silly
hand,
man with a robot's penis. In his hand.
Good.
You know that guy that
Not all
sticks
of
his
them.
hand up you and says, "Turn your head and cough."
What?
He has a spaceship now.
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doctor Who, space proctologist.
Doctor Who, space proctologist.
Doctor Who Space Proctologist is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Wibbly wobbly, colony woolly stuff.
So any of you of the artists out there, if you would like to draw that, send it to us. We'll put it up.
Yes.
There you go.
But back to MAGFest, and I swear I'll shut up about Doctor Who. Don't get me started, Kyle, please.
Too late. I already got you started.
Oops.
And then you finished. Hopefully.
Well, if anyone who's listened to this does think that I just hate everything New Who, that's hopefully they understand a bit more now, because it's not like I review every episode of New Who and hate it, because I don't. And I only pick on the ones I really hate. There's a bunch of ones in New Who that I do like.
Didn't you mention before about you're considering doing an episode of top 10 episodes of New Who that don't suck?
No, I'm not considering it. I'm gonna do that.
Oh, well,
it's
good.
just I gotta get the time to rewatch those episodes to write notes for it.
There's a comedy musician named Devo Spice, who's a comedy rapper, who is making a concept album of just songs about Doctor Who.
I've heard about that. I saw this Kickstarter.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He co-hosts the Fump podcast, which I've been on several times.
Oh, cool.
By the way, if you want to know more about my comedy music, you can. I'm one of the artists on a site called thefump.com. The Fump is short for the Funny Music Project. So thefump.com, check it out.
Cool.
You know who else is good? Chameleon Circuit. They're pretty good. I bought their album on iTunes.
You know this is good? You know the fact that Fraser Hines and John Pertwee separately do release singles about Doctor Who?
Really? That I
they
did
did.
not know.
Yes.
You know what else is good? Sinatra brand douches. Your personal stranger in the night.
Oh. You've been thinking about that for a few minutes, haven't you?
You know,
No.
every time he mentions that, you should dub in like a little chi-ching.
I'll see if I can. I'll do it in a multi-track mixdown. But yeah, so MAGFest, and we mean it this time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you're in the DC area or even Virginia, Pennsylvania, whatever, if you're within like 5-6 hours of driving, then you should drive over. If further, think about not going or take a plane.
And the hotel, it's the Gaylord at National Harbor. It's way too schwanky for us.
And last year, it was amazing. It was on CNN and The Daily Show and everything, because this is where they held CPAC.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, see pictures of Ann Coulter wandering around being crazy, and it's like, what? There's cosplayers?
We've walked the same halls that held Ann Coulter.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh
we
my
walked them
God.
Feel
first.
blessed.
We walked them first.
Ooh.
Just imagine the sort of shit that was ridiculous.
So we
shit.
got our stink on her.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just imagine all the ridiculous shit that has happened in those halls before we got them. Yes.
So if anyone's really good with Photoshop, you can find a picture of cosplayers from MAGFest and a picture of CPAC members from MAGFest and combine them.
From
And
MAGFest, from the Game Lord.
I mean, yeah, from the Gaylord. And combine them because I really want to see pictures of Ann Coulter posing right next to, a Bishonen kid with a huge sword.
Or we can see if we can convince Welshie at some point to cosplay as Ann Coulter.
Oh, right.
Oh my god, he has the bone structure for it.
The
Oh
minion
my
Ann
yeah.
Coulter.
He turned up playing Minion Ann Coulter in one of my episodes, but he unfortunately, it was done sort of an audio thing, so we just had a photo, but full cosplay would be amazing. Yes.
The only racism you hear anymore is against black Republicans. That's nice. Here's a biscuit. Go.
Jesus is white! And Santa exists and is white! Every fictional character is white!
Okay,
Even
here-
Shaft
is white.
Here's your biscuit, Megan Kelly.
Shut your mouth. I was only talking about white Jesus.
Oh.
Sorry. You know who we need to get to MAGFest is D.A. Scott Jr. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
you and him need to work together because he is brilliant. He's the guy. He did the literal music.
Oh,
video for it.
okay, that guy. I love literal videos. That guy's awesome.
He is brilliant. He's a great filker. I think you guys should work together.
Yeah, I was actually on one of his literal videos.
Oh wow.
On a voiceover.
You and Ven, right?
Yeah, me and Ben.
Oh wow.
Later on, he did a literal music video for David Bowie's As the Round. What is it? The one from Labyrinth.
Oh,
As
yeah.
the
Oh,
world
yeah.
no, as the world falls down.
Yeah,
That's it. And I did a voiceover on that bit.
So it was clips from Labyrinth, or was it actually a music video?
It was a music video with clips from Labyrinth.
I think Allison's done work with him before.
Yeah,
too.
Allison, Todd, Pushing Up Roses. They were on his Sunglasses at Night video.
Because you're friends with him. You should get you should get on it.
Oh,
You have a good mic and everything.
Yeah, we should get him here.
I can't sing, but I do want to get him on Lesbian Talk at some point.
Yeah.
Every month we're like, oh, next month, let's see how
Yeah,
it works out.
we have like a list of people we want on, because we interview every so often, and we've interviewed like the director of Preaching to the Perverted and like LGBT bloggers and stuff. We got a list. We got like the director for They Are Gonna Die. We got
I don't want to talk.
we got your friend Celia, who's an author. We got D.A. Scott Jr. We got other.
See, we have important people
But-
who aren't us on our show.
It's just difficult to set up the interviews.
What else? And there's another good thing about MAGFest is that there's the dealer's room, and accompanying the dealer's room, adjacent to it, is a huge gaming room. If you want to play arcade games, like literally cabinet games, if you want to play console games, every single kind of console, PC games, just everything is going on, all free to play. If it's 2 in the morning and you're drunk and you can't sleep and you want to go down and you want to play Primal Instinct 3 until your eyes fall out, you can.
What's Primal Instinct 3?
Isn't it the one we played yesterday?
No, we played X-Men the arcade.
No, not yesterday with the dinosaurs.
No, we played Killer Instinct 2 and Primal Rage.
Yeah, or one of them. Primal Instinct 3 is going to be us.
I can tell you, I
want to see Glacius beat up a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Shut up, I'm tired.
the first night here, I found myself wandering around because you guys were filming something, so I was letting you film, and I was
we're filming with Phantasma.
Yep, and you're filming with Phantasma, and I was just exploring the con, and I found myself to the gaming room, and I wandered by an NES that was set up with Punch-Out, and I played for about an hour, and I had forgotten how much fun that game is when it's not on like an emulator or ROM, when it's just on an NES. It was just such nostalgia.
Yeah, last night there was 4 of us wandering through the gaming section, and we came across the 6-player X-Men arcade from the early 90s. And someone had just obviously been playing a 6-player game, and they had just left. The X-Men were standing there getting beaten up by Sentinels and dying, and they had 999 lives each.
We could not let this stand.
So we took over. There was 4 of us, so obviously the ones at the end were trying to control 2 players at a time.
And then 2 other people joined us.
Yeah, so
it was like a whole, we were going forth to save Professor X.
And then we did a few levels, but then we got to a point where the screen was automatically moving on, and because no one was controlling Cyclops, he was sort of stuck in the corner because they'd left, and they got trapped in this section, and there was so the screen couldn't move anymore, and he was stuck there, and suddenly the 999 lives became a real problem because we couldn't end the game to restart. So we were stuck having people throw themselves into pits. So we just had this cascade of like trying to end the fucking game.
So then we went to win.
Even if we could kill ourselves, Cyclops couldn't get into a kill scenario.
Yeah.
He was a Highlander. He couldn't die.
Did you see the Cyclops cosplayer?
I
He
didn't.
was in the early 90s, X-Men animated costume.
Cool.
Completely, and it's just one of these things. The site, it really rams home exactly how much sillier the costumes look in real life.
Yeah.
But it was perfect.
It was perfect, but he had like a really large package, and I felt uncomfortable.
Actually, that brings up a good
So
point.
look at that guy. I was like, I was looking.
That brings up a good point. Let's all say what our favorite cosplayer was that we saw. My favorite, I saw a guy dressed as Guile from Street Fighter, complete with like realistic hair with the flat top on top. It was just beautiful.
My favorite was the person dressed as Escargot in Citizen.
I gave
The snail version of me.
I saw them last night, and I had one left. I brought some DVDs that I used in my show, to sign and give to fans. And, she came up to say hello to me, and I thought, because I was so impressed, I gave her my last one. So she can enjoy the copy of, what was it? Rat's Night of Terror.
As much as one can enjoy. That's the Terror.
Yes.
I gotta go with the Yip Yip guy at the auditions for the worst movie ever. I have a close second, but I don't want to say it yet in case it's one of yours.
I also have to go with the Yip Yip guy, and my close second is the guy who was cosplaying as Captain Jack Harkness when I was cosplaying as the Second Doctor, who ran up and hit on me.
My favorite, I only saw a part of her as she left the room. She was playing the silver-skinned woman from Farscape, and it was a really good. I'd only seen part of her, but she looked really, really authentic, looked professionally done. But my other favorite is some of the Doctor cosplayers, because we had, apart from Omega cosplaying as the Second Doctor, there was a group of them. You had 9, 2, and 6 hanging out together, which was cool.
My second favorite is a guy who dressed up as Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls. Because I love that, yeah.
As long as we're doing close seconds, there was a girl who dressed up as Luna from Lunar the Silver Star, which is my favorite RPG of all time. It's the first one I ever played, and I've never seen a cosplayer dressed like that.
And there was another one. This is not my favorite. I only saw a photo of this one. I didn't see them in person. This is just unexpected, and it was wonderful. There was a cosplayer of the cartoon hero.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My favorite cosplay ever, it wasn't here, but it was I only saw a picture of it from a different con. I think it was Comic-Con last year, actually. There was a group of cosplayers specifically cosplaying as Disney villains. There was a Maleficent, I think a Captain Hook. There were 3, big ones. Someone was Jafar. There was a guy dressed as the Horned King from the Black Cauldron.
Wow.
And my favorite, a guy simply dressed in a hunting outfit.
Nice.
Oh, I just remembered when we saw last night. We were wandering through the games room, and there was the guys dressed as the knights from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh,
And
nice.
They were all fighting a Mr. Tonberry from Final Fantasy VII, and they were losing one by one. He was touching them, and they were dying.
Run away!
Oh, yeah, I saw them going through the lobby, being, with the guy with the coconut behind.
And they had
That
a
was
trumpet
good.
playing the theme,
Yeah, and there are some random musicians wandering around. There's one guy with a trumpet. I've seen someone with a saxophone and a violin, and it's just, that happens at MAGFest.
It's a really, really fun thing.
Raves on the spot,
And it'll be late December or early January next year. They're not sure yet.
And by the way, the Grunkle Stan cosplayer, I should say, fake stubble and all. Like fake Homer Simpson stubble around his lips was perfect. It was awesome.
So, we're not going to do the dictionary this time because we don't have it with us. We'll think of something for next episode.
Kyle, think of a word.
Okay.
Okay.
So that we will be talking about, okay? We'll think of something.
That's what we're starting with next episode.
How about Oklahoma? Because OK is an abbreviation for Oklahoma.
Okay.
Oklahoma, where things
Because we
stuff
never
happening.
plains, where the
Waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh, Oklahoma, every night, my honey lemon every night we sit alone and talk and watch a hawk living lazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say, I-B-O-E-A, we're only saying you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A, Oklahoma, yow!
Suck my balls.
But so anyway,
I don't know why, but they just taste better this way. And if you get that reference, I want to hang out with you.
But so we're going to be wrapping up. So Kyle, where can people find your stuff if they don't already know?
blip.tv/browse-hell-high. No dash.
All right. And Tony?
Some jerk with a camera.blip.tv, and you can find my music at the Tony Goldmark page of thefump.com. They have just go to their list of artists and scroll down, and you'll get to me. And I also have a Bandcamp page, Tony-Goldmark.bandcamp.com. Doesn't have any music on it yet, but it will as soon as the album comes out.
And Steve?
For me, on YouTube and Twitter under MagicSteve83. My YouTube account is very bare at the moment, but I'm working on getting some more videos uploaded. Gonna have some tutorials up there. Gonna have a few crossovers, few videos, skits, sketches. It's gonna be a good time.
Kyle and I have Twitter feeds as well. I'm at Tony Goldmark.
At Kyle Kallgren.
At MagicSteve83.
And you know us, so we're not going to go into that. But
Yeah, and if you're listening to this on Nerdvice, then if you want to see the visual version, you can go to the Blip.
go to nerdvice.com, or my Blip is the Omega at blip, or .blip.tv, or however that goes. So yeah, if you're listening to the MP3 on That Guy with the Glasses and you want to check out the visuals, go to Nerdvice for that. Or you can also go to my website, theomegageek.com.
And if you're watching it with visuals at Nerdvice, then if you want to just listen to the odd MP3, get on Tigwatig.
Yes.
See that? Fight, bitches!
So I think we've promoted pretty much everyone. So for this time, I have been the Omega, and who have you have been today?
I've been Tony Goldmark.
Well, that's a twist.
I've been Diamanda Hag.